Primary date in Virginia is just a couple of weeks away. One of the many seats on the ballot. Senator Tim Kaine, the longtime Democrat seeking re-election for another term. There are several Republicans who have lined up for a chance to face off against the former governor. One of them is my guest tonight here on the Fun at Five. Please welcome Eddie Garcia up late with me tonight. Eddie, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you, Jim. Thanks for the invitation.
You are an Army veteran. This is your first bid for elected office. What got you interested in this race?
That's right. I'm a 22-year Army veteran. I'm the son of South Texas, the son of a ranch hand who's never made much money. I come from a working-class background. I served 22 years in the Army. I deployed to combat 6 times, 3 to Iraq, 3 to Afghanistan. I finished my career in the Pentagon working at the federal level with the House and with the Senate. And now, after 22 years, service still on my heart to see working people down in the southwest of Virginia and the Valley, places like where I come from, struggling further behind today than 22 years ago. In the most prosperous nation in the world, something's got to change. I believe change is in the air in 2024. I'm going to be the change agent for the Commonwealth of Virginia.
We know, especially in the last 20 years or so, the demographics of Virginia have changed quite a bit, and Northern Virginia does carry a lot of weight in the electoral process. You mentioned other corners of the state. Is there an issue that is more prevalent when you mention the southwest corners of the state, or is there something that really unites voters all across the Commonwealth?
Number one issue on people's minds is our unsecured southern border right now. It's the top of everybody's issue list, whether you're in the southwest or you're in the inner city and some of these low-income communities, Hispanic communities that I'm familiar with. They know more than any community the drugs and the criminals that are coming across this border with bad intentions. They sleep in their neighborhoods. Those kids that are unaccompanied minors are crowding their public schools. It's a drain on resources here in America for Americans, and so people are concerned with it. It's one of my top priorities. When I get in there, hopefully with the new president in the White House, we can push forward legislation that secures our border, institutes Remain in Mexico as a legislative priority, and it increases the number of asylum judges so that we can process this backlog that we see across the nation and get our border secured once and for all.
One of the things we heard, especially over the last couple of days, with President Biden signing the executive order on immigration, a lot has been talked about that bipartisan compromise that was brokered a while back and it did not end up for a vote. If that's not a solution, if they're kind of billing that as a fix, what is the long-term solution? Is it doing something drastic? You mentioned a new president, former President Trump, has said he'd be pushing to deport, a mass deportation program. What's the medium there? Is there a medium, or is it drastic times call for drastic measures?
Well, it's three key steps that we can do right away. One, we need to get started back on that border barrier, that border wall that he asked for 7 years ago that the Republican Party didn't give it to him when they had the Senate. We can do that right away. We also need to legislate fixes, though. We cannot continue to leave it to the executive agencies, to the executive branch. We can do that by passing Remain in Mexico so that we no longer keep detainees here in America. They have to remain outside of our borders while their asylum claims are processed. And for the backlog of people who have already come here, who asylum claims are in that process, the new president needs to appoint triple the number of temporarily triple the number of asylum judges so that we can reduce that backlog, and everybody who doesn't qualify goes back to where they came from, and those who do qualify get a chance to stay here because that's the way the law is written right now.
Economic issues are always pretty much at hand here, and right now this cycle you have the economy always comes up. We also know in Virginia, abortion was a big topic last time around. In fact, that's one of the reasons I think a lot of pundits will say the Democrats ended up getting control of the House of Delegates back. But as we look at those issues out there, I mean, you're making the rounds. What seems to be most prevalent on one of those issues?
Kitchen table issues, inflation is hurting everybody. I come from a working class background. I spent a lot of my time in the Valley, in the Southwest, Central Virginia, people who don't make a lot and don't have a lot of jobs and opportunity. I speak a lot about jobs for the future. We got to have an energy industry, an all-American energy plan is what I say, that utilizes the natural resource that we have, but also takes the Virginia model of nuclear energy with Lake Anna and Surrey power plants on a relatively small footprint that power roughly a third of the Commonwealth's energy. We need to duplicate that across the other lower 47 states. We need to put people back to work, get them into the workforce, get them excited about being in America again, so these kids coming out of college have the opportunity to buy a home, start a family, raise kids, and live the American dream.
You mentioned family. You have a family of your own?
I do. I'm married for 16 years. I got 2 beautiful girls. One just finished 10th grade. She's starting to drive now, so it's got me worried. And I got a 12-year-old who's running the whole household.
While you're gone, you're doing that. What's the website, Eddie?
My website is eddiegarciava.com. Anybody can follow me on social media at Eddie Garcia VA. I'm on all the social media platforms.
Eddie, good to see you. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thank you, Jim.
Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And the Final Five is back right after this.